Okay, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Rogers?
Here.
Ms. Ramsey?
Here.
Mayor Pons?
Here.
Vice Mayor Dent?
Here.
Ms. Kerchier? Here.
Okay, I don't believe we have any minutes to approve. It takes us now to matters of special privilege, and today we have a presentation of Excellence in Service Award to Athena Peters from the Williamsburg Department of Health and Human Services. So if you'd like to join me up front, please. Something some staff and colleagues have to say about you. So, just to let you know, Athena Peters has served the city of Williamsburg with dedication and compassion since April of 2023 as the administrative assistant to the Human Service Department. Athena is the first point of contact for most people who have come in contact with the department, serving over 4,300 walk-in customers and answering over 22,000 phone calls in the last 12 months with a welcoming demeanor. Colleagues describe her as friendly, efficient, and helpful. She easily de-escalates situations with calm and caring approach. Athena ensures individuals seeking assistance feel respected and comfortable, taking time to explain and guide them through navigating medical, financial, and social benefit programs. The Human Service Department serves individuals who are often in crisis or may be having their worst day. Athena listens compassionately as people share their stories of homelessness, food insecurities, and desperations about how to support their families or themselves. Athena is supportive, positive, and focused on getting individuals the necessary assistance. Athena also extends her support to colleagues, consistently offering assistance on projects and seeking ways to enhance efficiencies. She is described as a team player and able to adapt to the frequent changes and fluctuating demands. Athena is reliable and dependable and proactively seeks out ways to support the entire team. Athena is a valuable part of the human service team and is a great asset to the city of Williamsburg. And Athena is an exemplary employee who embraces the Williamsburg way. Athena Peters is hereby recognized for her dedication to excellence in keeping the best traditions of public service in the city of Williamsburg. So congratulations.
Thank you.
I just want to say that I'm proud to work alongside such an amazing group of people that work so hard to support our community. I'm very honored to be presented with this award, and I look forward to many more years working for the city. Thank you.
Okay, it takes us now to public hearings, which there are none, so we'll move right into reports, and first is the monthly financial statement. I don't see Ms. Dameron.
Oh, she's in the back.
There she is. She's hiding in the back today.
Good afternoon. Today we're reviewing the June 30th report, and I just want to note this report is a moment in time. Between now and August 31st, we'll continue to record revenues and expenditures that relate to fiscal year 24, and we'll also be making other entries, year-end adjustments such as pension expense and liability and things that will impact our revenue expenditures and therefore our fund balance. We'll also be preparing some analysis, getting ready for the return of the auditors for their final field work the week of September 16th. But as of June 30th, our general fund revenues have exceeded general fund expenditures by $1.1 million. And the general fund revenues are under the final budget by $84,000. Significant revenues that have exceeded the budget are property taxes by $316,000. That's primarily due to the real estate. Personal property taxes, local other local taxes by $115,000, primarily due to business license as well as bank stock taxes. Categorical aid of $292,000 due to streets and sidewalks. Other categorical aid of $173,000 due to a Home First Centera grant and overtime for police services. General fund revenues that are currently under the budget are hotel and motel taxes is under right now by $420,000. Meals tax is under by $564,000, but keep in mind, we have another month of revenue to be collected in both of those accounts. And then the use of money and property is under by $106,000 right now. General fund expenditures are currently under the final budget by $1.2 million. And then our sales tax as of June 30th is at $4.9 million and is under the budget of $5.5 million by $600,000. But keep in mind, we have 2 more months of activity that relate back to '24 to be realized. Also in the tourism fund, the city's share of the historic Triangle sales tax is $2.1 million and under the budget by $133,000. Again, another 2 months of that revenue stream to be recognized between year and now in the final results. And then the $2 lodging tax realized is at $835,000, which is $104,000 under the budget. And again, we have another month of that revenue to be recognized. In the utility fund, water revenue is currently under budget by $958,000. I know that sounds like a big number, but typically between this point in time in the year and our final results, we collect anywhere between 19% and 22.5% of the revenue stream. And with that in mind, it's likely that we will meet budget. The sewer revenue is under budget by $149,000. And then interest earnings have exceeded the budget by $293,000. Operating expenses are under the budget by $1.4 million, resulting in an operating income realized of $773,000. That concludes my report. We do look forward to having final numbers for the audit committee's review either early to late November, with the annual comprehensive financial report being presented to City Council in December. Be happy to answer any questions if there are any.
Good. I don't have any questions regarding the report, but in another committee that I sit on, at the Tourism Council, we were talking about what is seeing as a softness in the market relative to what we thought we was going to see when we were doing the budgets. In your world of the finance director's world, are you having those types of conversations about concerns of softening in revenues?
Yeah, I am starting to see that, not only in terms of our own revenue streams, but also in terms of the activity that I see from vendors and people that are trying to strum up some business. It's usually one of the key things that I start to see of business. If you'll note, there are also a lot of marketing going on and sales and things that indicate there's some concern.
Yeah, so I know we'll keep an eye on it as we move through.
We will.
So, thank you,
No
Mr. Vice Mayor.
questions. Thank you.
Good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, next is monthly departmental operating report, and I see Ms. Hutton on the way up. Welcome, Ms. Hutton from Parks and Recs.
Good afternoon, Mayor, members of Council. This afternoon, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our newest member of our Parks and Recreation team, Ms. Tracy Fry. She joins us as the Williamsburg Farmers Market Manager, and today she's going to talk about all the great things that are in store for this season.
Welcome, Ms. Fry. Welcome aboard.
Thank you. Thank you.
So it is always a pleasure to come and talk about my most favorite subject, which is the Williamsburg Farmers Market. We actually started our season back in March, and our season will run 40 weeks this year, from March all the way through December. We are a Saturday market that runs from 8 to noon. In beautiful downtown Williamsburg on the Duke of Gloucester Street. Just to refresh anybody's memory who might not be familiar with the Williamsburg Farmers Market, but the Williamsburg Farmers Market opened July 6, 2002, with just 16 vendors on Duke of Gloucester Street in Merchant Square. One of the things that has differentiated the Williamsburg Farmers Market from other markets across the country is from its inception and idea stage, it was supported from the entire community, including the City of Williamsburg, Colonial Williamsburg Foundation, Merchant Square, the Land Conservancy, and William and Mary. I put a little bit of information there about our original vendor sales to show, as we get through some of the slides, to show that amazing growth that we've seen in the past 20 plus years. Another person to note would be that we did start our first season of Farmers Market with a market manager who is still, attends the market just about every Saturday, being Libby Oliver. And her visionary market management and startup is still some of the things that keeps this market very successful today. I love data. I hope you guys do as well. So some of the things that I brought to you today were how we sort of mark our success, and also allows us to know if there's things we need to focus on. So post-pandemic, some of the things to note is that we did our first 18 years, we operated in the same location on the first block of Duke of Gloucester Street in Merchant Square. In 2021, we relocated to the P6 parking lot and operated there for just 1 year until we relocated to our current location, which is now the second block of Duke of Gloucester and the P4 parking lot. By the numbers, you can see that we've seen quite a bit of growth, especially in relation to vendor sales. So last year, we ended the year almost hitting our goal of 2 million. That's still a goal that I'd like to see us exceed in 2024, and we are making our way there very, very quickly. So the farmers market, because it is seasonal, we have historically run on a calendar year as our fiscal year, so it'll be interesting moving forward to see what that looks like compared calendar year and also the city's fiscal year. And that'll be something moving forward. If you hear from me, you'll probably see both of those, because I think there's definitely something to be said for consistency in showing data through time. So this past year, one of the very exciting things that happened were we were able to work with Aramark to accept William and Mary dining dollars for the first time. And that was in the tune of $30,000. So that's William and Mary students choosing to go sometimes out of their way to purchase tokens with their dining dollars to be spent at the market, and that is revenue for the local producers they otherwise would not have seen. So that's something new this past year. We also had the first year of Farm Market Fresh. That is a senior nutrition incentive program for those seniors over 60 years old. They can get $50 to spend at the farmers market on fruits and vegetables. Because it was the first year, Williamsburg Farmers Market actually offered a match, and we offered a dollar for dollar match. And anything SNAP eligible, which basically is anything at our market except for cut flowers and soap. So that just expanded the amount of money that our seniors could spend at the market on a variety of products, including meat and baked goods, breads, eggs, stuff like that, including those fruits and vegetables that they were getting a voucher from. And that program was through the Department of Aging and Rehabilitative Services, and in our local area, that was through the Peninsula Agency on Aging. So I showed you some sales information, and we did hit that 1.96 million. You may wonder what the breakout of those sales are as far as what type of food people in our community are purchasing. One of the things I am continuously proud of is that our farmers market continues to focus on fruits and vegetables, and it is clear from our sales that our community is still coming to the market for fruits and vegetables. So we have about anywhere from 14 to 16 produce vendors at the market any given week, and we are showing about 38% of vendor sales on produce at the farmers market. The next closest range to that is the prepared food, and trending nationwide, more and more people are coming to farmers markets for things like prepared food. That would include things such as soups and pickles and those type of things. Now, the Williamsburg Farmers Market does require, when possible, that those ingredients be sourced from local farms too. So that's actually even more sales for our local farmers at the market. So we've actually grown quite a bit as far as our programming that we've been offering the Williamsburg community since our inception, and since I've been a market manager, which I took over in 2013. Some of the things that we're most proud of are our food access and equity programs. So we began accepting SNAP, which is Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, in 2013. We offer one of the largest SNAP matches in the state. So if you are using your EBT card to use your SNAP benefits at the farmer's market, you will get a dollar for dollar match in fruits and vegetables. If your children come with you, they'll get an additional match. And as funding is available, we sometimes will actually even do an additional match on top of that. As I mentioned, we are doing Farm Market Fresh, and we have last year started partnering with local clinics to do some fruit and veggie prescription programs, and that just increases the amount of dollars available to those food insecure members of our community so they can buy fruits and vegetables and eat healthier. The other thing we added this year, and this is new for 2024, is our Market Perks program. So it's a digital loyalty program. You can sign up online. When you come to the market, you'll get to spin our fun and colorful wheel and earn prizes right then. If you come and you fill your card, then you'll be entered to win a really cool prize. Right now, that prize is market parking that is so great. It's only available on Saturday because I create it. But it's just one of those things that allows us to communicate with our community as the market organization. So our vendors have a great ability to communicate with the customers every Saturday as they're selling things. And as a community organization, it seems like the right thing to do to continue that conversation and making sure that we are meeting the needs of our community as a farmers market too. So we have actually seen, I think we have over 160 people who have signed up for this very new program, and that continues to grow. We are continuing our Chef's Tent post-pandemic. It's been kind of hard to bring back some of those pre-pandemic programs, especially related to food safety, but we have brought our Chef's Tent back. So throughout the years, we have tried different things to be environmentally sustainable. So pre-pandemic, we tried reusable bowls and forks and spoons, and they were all washed by a local restaurant. This year, we're back to compostable. Because of the extra work and capacity that it took to do things like washing. But we're constantly learning and growing, very flexible farmers market. Our children's program is the final program that we have, which is just for kids up to age about 12. It runs through the summer and includes a 2-bite challenge. The children who come with their parents can try 2 bites of a different fruit or veggie every week. They participate in a fun little scavenger hunt where they look for a giant papier-mâché carrot and a giant apple, and then they tell us how far that food traveled to market, and then they get a little bit of money to spend at the farmer's market. None of these programs would be possible if it weren't for our over 100 volunteers that participate with the farmers market every season. We also have been very fortunate to partner with William & Mary and have several interns who have worked with us on data collection, customer accounting. Right now, I have an intern with me here today who's working on a different type of project, and that really allows us to continue to grow and build our capacity. This year, we are a gold certified farmers market. We are one of just 19 markets in the state of Virginia that has been certified. Amazingly, all of us farmers markets are quite competitive, and none of us wanted to be bronze or silver, so we are all gold. But some of the highlights there as part of being a gold certified farmers market is really taking it above and beyond. There's quite a bit of things that go on behind the scenes of being a farmers market, including food safety, professional development, the origin or food origin statements, food access, non-discrimination, consumer education, market visibility, marketing and outreach, public safety, data, and innovation. And of those very broad topics, there are lots of criteria available to really narrow down and showcase those markets that have hit it out of the park and gone above and beyond to make sure those are a focus. So these are some of the things that I included just to showcase that market staff are trained, our vendors are trained. We do have a food origin policy. Education is part of some of the things we're working on. And then public safety is an untold part of what makes the market such an amazing place. And we're very fortunate to have great partners in the police department and fire department who will work with us and answer any questions we may have to ensure that the farmers market is a very safe place to visit. And then it goes back to our vendors. So just to reiterate a little bit of what is required to be a vendor at the Williamsburg Farmers Market. So you have to grow, bake, or make whatever it is that you're selling at the farmers market. So only produce and goods grown and made in Virginia qualify. We are a mostly food-based and plant-based farmers market, so you will not see arts and crafts with a very small exception of wreaths around the Christmas holidays. And that could also be beeswax candles if the person making them is raising the bees and stuff like that. So we sort of keep our products to what we originally had envisioned for a farmers market in downtown Williamsburg. And that has served us well. So at this time, there are no changes in store as far as the criteria of becoming a vendor at the Williamsburg Farmers Market. The one thing that does differ between Williamsburg and other markets in this area, including Toano and Yorktown, is that although we do understand there are cottage laws related to baked goods and certain pickles and acidified foods, the Williamsburg Farmers Market does require all of our vendors to be inspected by the Virginia Department of Agriculture or the Department of Health. So that's a little bit of an elevation of standards that are required in Williamsburg. And mostly, I feel that that is in line with the expectation of food safety that Williamsburg visitors and patrons have when they come to the market. So that is something that can be expected from each and all of our vendors, is that inspection. And I went through that really quickly, I'm sorry. But if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Well, great. I first just want to congratulate you since being here since 2013 and all the work that you've done at the farmers market. I don't go often enough, but when I do, I'm always marveled at how well it's organized and how many people are there and all the different products. And I guess, really hearing about all the different programs, the SNAP, the working with seniors, and the working with Aramark to help students purchase things, all these different measures that you've deployed to try to get more patrons into the market, which then obviously helps the vendors there, and success begets success. And so looking forward to the future, and congratulations. So thank you for a wonderful farmers market and for being here today.
Thank you.
Vice Mayor?
Welcome, Tracy. Yeah, it's amazing that over a period of time that the market, a lot of programs lose their appeal. So thank you for all the strategies and innovative ways you've come up with to keep the farmers market appealing, but also while serving the Williamsburg community. And like the mayor said, it's amazing to go by there on a Saturday and see the number of people, regardless of whether people are still there, and the regulars that show up. And when people come to Williamsburg, to visit Williamsburg, if you have a conversation with them at some point, that you hear about the farmers market and their experience visiting the market. So thank you for all you do and for all the volunteers that make it possible, because it is a very important part of Williamsburg.
Hi.
Hi.
It's great to see you. Thank you for being here. I too just want to echo what has been said, and in particular pull out the piece about the Pop Club and the programming that is done for children. Because when my son was, really small, going up to the farmer's market on Saturday, and he tried a radish and a piece of broccoli, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And because he knew he was going to get a popsicle right at the end of it. But I think that the point is that what I really appreciate is how really the market is someplace for families, for everyone, whether from out of town or living here, to really visit, and how I think intentional the programming has been and continue to be, to really draw in as many people as possible and to really expand even who comes to the market and really can see and experience what it is, and hopefully be healthier because of it, and supporting our local farmers. So I just really wanted to call attention to that, because it really is something that is special to our market. And I look forward to seeing, what happens next. And I know that you're an ideas person, and I'm sure you have a lot of ideas and goals. And so I'm so appreciative that you're in this role here with us, because I know that you're not gonna rest on your laurels, and you're gonna keep the farmers market moving forward. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Tracy. I have a special affinity for the farmers market, having volunteered during Libby Oliver's tenure, and was volunteering when Tracy first began. And I think once you're a volunteer, you recognize all of the work that goes behind the scenes, that visitors come and can't imagine getting the table set up and all of the placards and then taking them all down. And I know sometimes it's hard to corral all of the volunteers, and I think you've done a great job. And I also think you've been a little modest in not bringing forward all of the programs that you've brought out. I mean, we also have music there. We have people coming from Virginia Beach to our farmers market because of the programs and the quality of product that's there. One of my favorites is the banners that identify all of the vendors, and adding the Pop Club. And you're constantly looking at new and different ways to engage. And the farmers market is not only for people to go and buy things, but it's a real social gathering for the city of Williamsburg. So thank you for all you've done. And as Stacy said, looking forward to new ideas yet to come.
Thank you, Barbara.
Tracy, I want to reiterate, thank you for all that you do. I also want to say welcome. Really excited to fully get to roll you into the City of Williamsburg staff. This is a perfect example of historical kind of now tradition we have in Williamsburg that feels like it's so much core a part of the city. So we're glad that you're a full-time member of the staff now, and we're able to count you as one of our own. I had one question about the farmers market, and that is I saw positive year-over-year growth, whether it be number of vendors or sales or customers. And I wanted to ask how you do marketing to try to drive, like Councilwoman Ramsey was mentioning, more people from the drivable distance, right? Virginia Beach or Richmond or where have you, to get to visit.
That's a great question, thank you. So we do have a marketing and media plan that we adopted several years ago that focuses on 3 types of customers. So that would be our core customer who loves us, they come every Saturday, our marquee customer who really loves strawberries or corn or fill in the blank, that's what they really love and they come for that, and then our lifestyle customers. And I think the customers you're really speaking to in that drivable distance are those lifestyle customers, like maybe it's a health concern, or they love their family, or they're going for a hike later, or they're visiting Colonial Williamsburg, And we fit really nicely in that lifestyle choice to come to a farmer's market on Saturday morning. So we're really focused on spending our advertising and marketing dollars as wisely as we can, and being really good shepherds with our marketing budget to ensure that we're getting the biggest bang for the buck, especially in a town and in an area really that focuses on tourists. We realize that there's a special kind of tourist and a special kind of visitor that is an ideal farmer's market customer. And it may not be somebody staying in a hotel overnight, but it could be somebody staying in a timeshare for a week, or it could be somebody who is driving from Virginia Beach or from Richmond, and we have created partnerships and relationships with those other communities to make sure that they're aware that we do have a farmers market, that we're part of the farmers market trail. Virginia is for farmers market lovers is something that came out recently that we were part of. We also are a member of and an active participant in the Virginia Farmers Market Association, and they do a lot of marketing on our behalf as well. So all of those things work really well together to maximize the amount of funding that we spend on marketing to make sure that we are reaching a really wide audience that also will benefit the people we're bringing downtown.
Yeah, well, thanks for the extra clarification there. It is great, and yeah, I'll say the vendors too, to Stacy's point, also are reaching a wide audience. You can go for dessert or coffee or produce, you know, but pick your adventure. So yeah, Tracy, just really wonderfully done in all that you do, and thanks for coming and presenting in front of us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good luck with the next farmer's market.
Thank you.
Okay, takes us now to city manager's report.
None today.
City attorney?
Nothing right now.
Leads us into open forum, which is an opportunity for anybody to come forward. I do have one speaker's card, Mr. Robert Wilson. If you'd like to come forward and just state your name and address for the record and keep your comments to about 5 minutes.
Good afternoon. My name is Robert Wilson at 22 The Palisades. I provided you with a study of the city's water demand and supply on May 8th, which I updated on June 7th. I'm here to report to you the results of my continued investigation into the status of the city's water supply in the absence of public disclosures by the city. What I've uncovered is that much of what the city has disclosed to the public about the city's water supply is false, and the city has made little attempt to correct it. In fact, it's taken measures to try to cover up the failures of the city in managing its water supply. In response to my FOIA request, the Virginia Department of Environmental Quality disclosed that the city has no water withdrawal permit for either the city well or the reservoir. With respect to the well, the city has stated in numerous places that 500,000 gallons per day is available from this source. This is false. The city's permit expired in 2005 and was not renewed. Without a permit, the city is limited 10,000 gallons per day under the Virginia Administrative Code, not 500,000 gallons a day. There seems to be more to the story of the well that has been disclosed. The Virginia DEQ reports there have been no reports of water withdrawals from the well since 2009. Is it even functioning at this point? The reservoir is grandfathered under permit requirements since it was in existence on July 1, 1989. However, there are some limits with respect to withdrawals based on what the level was in 1989. Further, the city has not reported withdrawals from the reservoir to the Virginia DEQ since 2021, a requirement under the grandfather exception. Additionally, the safe yield of the reservoir is 3 million gallons per day. Safe yield has been defined as the quantity of water that can be pumped regularly and permanently without dangerous depletion of the storage reserve. It now appears likely we will withdraw more than the safe yield, up to 3.5 million gallons per day from May through September of this year. This is not sustainable, particularly if we face drought conditions. The city represented that the second million gallons per day capacity under the agreement with Newport News, it was required to pay $12.5 million by June 30th. This was also false, since the payment was subject to an escalator clause, which has increased the payment to almost $18 million. In fact, the city didn't reach out to Newport News to discuss the payment until this past May. At the last city council meeting, the city manager represented that 1 year postponement of the required payment to Newport News was without cost to the city. This is also false. The payment continues to be the subject of the escalator clause in the agreement. If the index increases just 4% over the next year, the increased cost of the payment would be $500,000 if the city waited to the end of the fiscal year. Water demand in May and June have been at historic highs, and we will lose self-sufficiency in our water supply this summer and will be required to purchase water from Newport News. And this is before the added demand from the construction at William and Mary and the additional 480 units approved but not yet occupied in the city. In the last city council meeting, the city indicated it could purchase treated water from Newport News and therefore would not be exposing city residents to the forever chemical PFAS currently contaminating the Newport News water supply. This is also false. Newport News has disclosed that its treatment facilities currently aren't equipped to remove PFAS from its treated water supply. I could find no provision for the payment of the Newport News in the fiscal year 24-25 budget or other disclosure that it would not be paid. There's no provision in the capital plan for the expensive upgrades to the existing water treatment facilities required for a facility whose last major upgrade was 26 years ago. With an estimated cost of $5 to $10 million, combined with the Newport News water fee, the unbudgeted water supply figures could approach $30 million. These false statements are included in the comprehensive plan, the water and sewer analyses, budgets, bond obligation disclosures, and have permeated your city council meetings. The cover-up is almost always worse than the original failures. The failures here is the abject failure of the city to properly plan for its future water supply, to embark on an ambitious growth strategy without understanding the impact on its water supply, to provide the public with patently false information about the city's water supply, to fail to include material financial information in its budgets, and fail to advise citizens concerned about exposure to PFAS with measures they can take to protect themselves. You have a duty and responsibility to the citizens of Williamsburg to publicly correct the record with respect to the city's water supply now and in the future. You have a duty and responsibility under the budget process to correct the budgets and advise residents of the impacts of these future costs on their taxes and water and sewer rates. You absolutely have a duty to advise residents who may be concerned about exposure to PFAS how to better protect themselves. In my opinion, your continued failure to do so could be intentional and negligent. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Would anybody else like to come forward? Seeing none, I'll close the open forum and we'll move on to unfinished business. And first, we have the consideration of proposed resolution 24-13, recommendation to the Circuit Court for the reappointment of Sharon Baker to the City of Williamsburg Board of Equalization. Ms. Shelton?
So this is housekeeping. Last month, City Council made a reappointment of Sharon Baker to the Board of Equalization. That appointment is actually made by the Circuit Court, and each year we do that pursuant to a resolution of City Council that makes it easier to petition the court and obtain the order that's necessary for that appointment to be made. And so the staff's recommendation is that Council adopt Resolution 24-13.
Discussion? Somebody like to make a motion?
So I move that City Council adopt Resolution 24-13, reappointing Sharon Baker to the Board of Equalization.
Second.
Mr. Rogers?
Aye.
Ms. Ramsey?
Aye.
Mayor Pons?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Dent?
Aye.
Ms. Kerntier?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to new business. First, we have consideration resolution of 24-12, approving the city's participation in the proposed settlement of opioid-related claims against Kroger and the related corporate entities, directing the city attorney to execute the documents necessary to effect the city's participation in the settlement. Ms. Shelton?
So this is another resolution that's presented to council. Council has previously approved participating in settlements with McKesson, Cardinal Health, AmerisourceBergen, and Janssen, and another settlement with Teva, Allegren, CVS, Walgreens, and Walmart. This settlement is structured exactly the same way as previous settlements, with litigating localities receiving a bit more, the state receiving a share, and non-litigating localities receiving less. The city's share of the non-litigating locality share is 0.085%. That equals a few $1,000s a year. So the city's share of the settlement is small. However, the city is able to leverage the state funding that the state receives in regional projects, and we have submitted an application along with James City County for an alternative docket, a drug court essentially, for the court to supervise intensive therapy for cases involving drug use and criminal cases that are limited in their scope. And that money comes from the state's share, and the city and James City County were successful in that application, and we just received that information last week. The more jurisdictions that participate in these settlements, the bigger the state's overall share. In all of the other settlements, that was 100% of the jurisdictions participating. And so that's really the value for the city, is helping to bring the most dollars to the city. And so the staff's recommendation is that City Council adopt Resolution 24-12 and participate in this settlement as well.
Yes, so there's a settlement sum of money out there.
Yes.
And so by taking this action, we'll get,
The state of Virginia will
Opportunity.
receive a larger portion of the settlement, and those funds are available across the state for opioid abatement projects.
so it makes sense that we would attempt to do that. So, any other comments?
Shelton, so that's a period over a payment a year, over a period of years?
That's right. So these have been anywhere from 9 to 15 years.
Would somebody like to make a motion?
So I move that City Council adopt Resolution 24-12.
Second.
Mr. McKay?
Mr. Rogers?
Aye.
Ms. Ramsey?
Aye.
Mayor Pons?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Dent?
Aye.
Ms. Kerntier?
Aye.
Next is proposed ordinance 24-08 to updating the Chapter 2, Article 2, Section 2.34 of the Code of Williamsburg regarding electronic participations in meetings. Ms. Shelton?
So I mentioned this to you during the update on Monday. This will codify into the Code of Virginia the changes, or the Code of the City of Williamsburg, the codes changes that were made to the Code of Virginia. So this will include adding a caretaker provision as a basis for participating remotely in city board and commission meetings for members. It increases the maximum number of meetings for which remote participation is allowed to increase from 2 meetings a year to 2 or 25% of the meetings in a calendar year, whichever is greater. So for most boards and commissions, that will be more than 2 meetings a year. It also requires public bodies who are utilizing remote participation to readopt the policies annually. And so that adds that provision to the city's ordinance. The city attorney's office has prepared a template resolution for all the boards and commissions of the city that utilize remote participation to adopt as part of their annual organizational meetings. We have provided those to department heads and other staff that staff those boards. And so the staff recommends that City Council adopt proposed ordinance 24-08 to incorporate the state changes into the city code.
All right, somebody like to make a motion?
So I move that City Council adopt proposed ordinance 24-08.
Second.
McKay?
Mr. Rogers?
Aye.
Ms. Ramsey?
Aye.
Mayor Pons?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Dent?
Aye.
Ms. Kerntier?
Aye.
Next is consideration and request by Divine Experience LLC for the approval of Purely Jamil Salon and Spa occupy space at 1161 Professional Drive in Governor Berkeley Square. Ms. Shelton?
So in 1977, restrictive covenants were adopted for the Governor Berkeley Professional Center, which included specific uses that were allowed in the center, as well as a provision that includes specific professional uses approved by the Williamsburg City Council. That's been in place since 1977. Divine Experience LLC has contracted to purchase property at 1161 Professional Drive and intends to open a spa and salon on the first floor of the property with training and educational spaces on the second floor of the property. They have submitted a letter explaining their business plan and what they intend to do, which is attached to your packet. Spa and salon services and educational spaces are not expressly permitted uses pursuant to the restrictive covenants, and so they would fall within that category of things that City Council would need to approve. Mr. Zhang is here along with his client. If you have any questions, the staff does not have any objections, and so the staff's recommendation is that City Council approve the use of the property for that purpose.
So I can't imagine how those restrictive covenants were designed in 1971, but here we are some 50 years later, and I think we have an opportunity to put in a business that I think would do well and contribute to the business park there. So I certainly don't have a problem with this.
Yeah, I agree, and we made a similar change a few years ago for another business that, in the same professional park, so I think it's, as you said, since 1977, it's definitely better than having a vacant building sitting there for sure, to have a profitable business.
have no concerns and wish them luck. Yeah.
No concerns with me?
No concerns, as is mentioned, we've approved something very similar quite recently, and I know that area is highly trafficked, so it would be good for patrons to come so close by for, it sounds like a nice experience.
It's all health and wellness. So I move that City Council approve spa, salon, and related educational spaces provided by Divine Experience LLC as a professional use of property located at 1161 Professional Drive pursuant to the restrictions for Governor Berkeley Professional Center dated September 12, 1977.
Second.
Okay?
Mr. Rogers?
Aye.
Ms. Ramsey?
Aye.
Mayor Pons?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Dent?
Aye.
Ms. Kernscher?
Aye.
Good luck. All right, next is consideration and action regarding the updated agreement for the City of Williamsburg's residents' use of James City County-owned Tuning Road and Jolly Pond Road convenience centers between the City of Williamsburg and James City County. Mr. Reed.
Good afternoon, Mayor and members of City Council. Since 1994, the city and James City County has had a formal agreement to allow city residents to use the county-owned convenience centers to drop off bulk trash or recycling. Recently, city and county staff met to discuss renewing the agreement. As part of the agreement, we agreed to perform a study to try to get a better idea of actually how many city residents are using these facilities. And the study showed roughly 20% of users for the Jolly Pond and Tuning Road convenience centers were city residents. So staff then looked at the operating costs of the two facilities and found that 20% of the operating cost was approximately $12,000 per year. So staff of the city and county tentatively agreed on to payments of $3,000 per quarter, as well as contributing 20% to any capital upgrades at these facilities for projects less than $100,000. Any project exceeding $100,000, that would be negotiated separately. Also tentatively agreed that the annual cost increase would be based on the Consumer Price Index for recycling and trash collection, but not to exceed 5%. Staff recommends that City Council authorize the city manager to execute the updated agreement. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Thank you, Mr. Reed. So I think it's a great service to our residents to have the opportunity to take their bulk trash to either one of these service centers. I'm curious about the 20%. Seems awful high. When you compare it to all the other percentages, that we would be producing more bulk trash per capita.
It was an informal, simply the tenants asked each resident that came in to ask, where they lived, and they got their address. And we probably could have performed a more scientific study, but due to the cost and I guess we didn't want to, antagonize residents of where they live and that sort of thing.
Well, I think for the amount that we're talking, it's not a large sum of money to be able to provide the service and continue in partnership with James City County. So I don't have an issue with it.
Yeah.
Question?
Yeah, just one question, Mr. Reed. So was the capital improvement cost in the previous agreement, or is that new to this agreement?
That's new.
Okay.
I don't have any additional questions. Thank you.
Thank you for renegotiating this. I am one who particularly uses the Tuning Road one now that they have separate containers for glass. And I think that that may be a reason there may be more city residents that use that as opposed to throwing their glass in with their regular recycling and getting broken. Tuning Road also has, I think, one of the few oyster shell depositories, I guess. So I'm really glad that we're still able to offer this benefit at a reasonable cost to our residents.
Yeah, thank you, Director Reed. The 20% jumped out at me as well, but actually just surprising in comparison to the cost that using these two facilities is to the city in a positive way. I think it's a good deal for us. I know I have something to take to Jolly Pond here in the next couple of weeks, so appreciate your renegotiation. I have no qualms with it, ready to move forward.
So I move that City Council authorize the city manager to execute the updated agreement for the City of Williamsburg residents' use of the James City County-owned Tuning Road and Jolly Pond Road convenience centers between the City of Williamsburg and James City County.
Second.
Ms. McKay?
Mr. Rogers?
Aye.
Ms. Ramsey?
Aye.
Mayor Pons?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Dent?
Aye.
Ms. Kernscher?
Okay, next on our agenda is a closed session. I believe we have one.
Yes. I move to go into closed session pursuant to Section 2.2-3711 of the Code of Virginia for the purpose of discussing two personnel matters per paragraph 1 concerning evaluation of the city manager and city attorney.
Second.
Ms. McKay?
Mr. Rogers?
Aye.
Ms. Ramsey?
Aye.
Mayor Pons?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Dent?
Aye.
Ms. Kernscher?
Aye.
Okay, we will go into closed session, and once we return, we'll be in open forum.
notification of a closed session pursuant to Section 2.2-3712 of the Code of Virginia.
Second.
Okay?
Mr. Rogers?
Aye.
Ms. Ramsey?
Aye.
Mayor Pons?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Dent?
Aye.
Ms. Kernchenna?
Aye.
And I move that we adjourn.
Second.
Ms. McKay?
Mr. Rogers?
Aye.
Ms. Ramsey?
Aye.
Mayor Pons?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Dent?
Aye.
Ms. Kernchenna?
Aye.
You're adjourned.